Hey, what is up guys? MixelPlx here. In today's video, we're going to be doing Order of Souls. Now, I always get comments during the live stream or in the comment section like, Mix, can you do Order of Souls? Can you tell me how you do it? Can you explain it so I have a reference? Well, today's that day. Now, to kind of get things going, just like usual, we're gonna go ahead and grab supplies. We already went ahead and grabbed pockets from the outpost. Not much in terms of stuff, not really any crazy curses, but to kind of get things going, I want to explain the benefits of using the Order of Souls emissary flag and emissary flags in general. The benefit to these, once you obtain them at level, I think 15 or 12 or something like that, it is a one-time purchase of 15,000, I believe. I might have to do this in post to kind of correct this, but I believe it's 15,000 gold for a emissary flag, and it allows you to double your value at grade 5 for this particular faction. In this case, anything skull related, the relics coming from skeletal lords, etc., gemstones, all get a 2.5 bonus with rep and gold. That is a significant bump and is totally worth doing. So for those who are like, oh, you're just trying to farm content off of people, relax, buddy. I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to encourage you to get the gold and reputation that you so desire. Now, we went ahead and bought supplies and everything else, so we're going to go ahead and get things underway. Now, this particular method, let me go ahead and disclose this right away. This particular method is not something I would always use. Again, I'm not a big fan of diving in this, but let's grab some crates real quick. I actually made the mistake thinking I bought these earlier, but let's see if the merchant actually doesn't scam us. Well, let's take a look here. Oh, we're good. Huge. All right, so let's get these on the boat. I always get comments of like, Mix, do I buy a captain the boat? Yes, you do. Between merchant supplies and captaincy supplies that you buy at the ship right over here, totally worth doing, man. Boat is organized and we're ready to set sail. So one of the first things you're going to want to do here, and you're not going to believe it, is you're going to want to grab a raid voyage. So we're going to go down here. We're going to go to Order of Souls. We're going to go to raid voyages, and we're going to scroll down to a duel with an Ashen Lord. Defeat an Ashen Lord to claim their treasure and an Ashen Wind Skull. So basically, not only are we going to be getting a lot of Order of Souls loot plus a raid item for Order of Souls, we're going to be wanting an Ashen Wind Skull. Now, if you end up having in a legit Ashen Winds that is up, I would go to that right away, get the skull, and you'll see in just a moment exactly why we're going to be using this. But let's go ahead and dive, because unfortunately we do have a world event up, but it is a flame heart, so we're going to go ahead and set sail, and we're going to go ahead and get this going. Hey, oh, we got a good island too. Actually, really good. Oh man, this is actually a perfect start to the day. This is actually really, really good. So I mean, either way, wherever it takes you, you kind of need to do it. But this keeps us in shores of plenty pretty much. So this is a freaking massive W. This is probably one of the best islands you can do it at, just because you kind of can see like 360 everybody around you, which is good. This is kind of what we're wanting. We did get scammed in our food from the shipwrights, so we're gonna park our boat. I think probably around here, probably like around here or so, and then we'll get this going. All right, let's head on over. All right, let's start it up. All right, so obviously the goal here is we're going to kill the Ashen Lord as best we can. Got a couple of pineapplers here. But we're going to go ahead and finish off this boss, and I'll explain at the very end, once we complete this, exactly why we do this. All right, and just like that, we got our Ashen Winds boss done. We got our raid done. Now, ideally, if you want to do this and do it correctly, I would try to bring the boss to the beach. A lot of these islands where you fight this boss in particular, it's just not really good to have it. Like for example, he was gonna die in this in this little center here, and it just was not gonna be a good spot because the loot would have spread above and just it would have been a mess. So my best advice when it comes to dealing with these bosses in particular is to move the boss to the beach. That way loot's just quick and easy to pick up. We got exactly what we're here for, which is this. And we're actually gonna go over here and grab our last piece of loot. Now, we're not doing this for emissary grade or anything like that, and you'll see just a moment while we're doing it. We got our corrupted skull. So this is like, I guess, the outside of the raid loot and the skull. This is definitely not bad to be picking up, so, and we're looking good. Alright, so we're gonna go and vote for a skeletal lord. Now, we've got everything in tow. We've got our dark bounty skulls, which we're gonna go ahead and put here. We've got our Eye of Souls, which we're not really, you know, we didn't do it for the raid loot, basically. We have our corrupted skull, and we have our Ashen Wind skull. Oh, and just like that. Now, before we do anything, there's a couple of things I want you to prioritize. And this should be a general gameplay reminder. If you see a shipwreck, you stop. Unless you are being chased by an active boat, you do not skip on shipwrecks. Shipwrecks are probably one of the most amazing things they've added to the game. I have to give Rare credit in this regard. Shipwrecks, not that they were ever bad, because they were great for supplies. You go to a shipwreck, you never know what you're going to find. You could find a Horn of Fair Winds, you could find an astronomical amount of king loot, you could find a crap ton of supplies. So it's good all around. But I highly recommend you stop what you're doing and head on over to the shipwreck. Before we go down, we are a solo player, so we need to keep, let's take a quick look at, see if we see anybody. I don't see anybody around, so I think we're probably fine. The server seems to be pretty quiet, so, but let's see if we find anything. Let's go down here. You're always gonna check captains first. Nothing off the rip. This is looking kind of dry already. Let's see. Oh yeah, this looks like this may have been hit, actually. Yeah, this feels like this has been hit actually pretty recently. There's like no loot in this thing. But that is perfectly fine because look at all the food that we are finding. So even if there's no loot or someone may have hit this, barrels typically do reset once a day if this doesn't go down, which is great. So if you're looking for quick subs, if you're looking for some good food, cursed cannonballs, or even bone callers, because this is one of the better places to find them, yeah, come here, find what you need, deposit it. Now there's a crap ton of chain. If we keep finding chain shot like this, we're gonna have to go and pick, you know, put it up top, but for now I think we'll be perfectly fine. Hey, there we go, we got some looties. That's good. All right, so there's, wow, this is just really dry on the mid deck, which is kind of wild actually. Smoke ancient scale, so there's definitely a fair amount of food in this. Holy crap, there's a lot of chains. Well, for at least for this video, I don't think we're gonna need it because again, I don't know how many people are playing on the server. Out of just pure greed, I will be picking up all king loot because I do want the commendation. But this king's chest is worth quite a bit. You guys know what it is. Mixel loves his king loot. It's probably one of my favorite pieces of loot, these chests. So we're gonna put these off to the side. Allow that to be harpooned. Gemstones I would grab as well, even though it's one singular gemstone. Even with a grade 5 flag, gems are worth quite a bit. I won't be picking up this hateful skull because I'm just lazy and yeah, I really don't care for it. So we're here just for the quality loot, but if you want to be a min-maxer, if you want to get pirate legend right away, I would grab every skull you can. Mind you, this is just how I personally play. If you need the golden rep, definitely grab it. This is just something personally for me. I just like the look, the visuals of the new look, or of the new loot. And for me, it honestly makes sense, but definitely grab all you can. Let's Let's go over here. Now that we've hit the shipwreck, which we didn't skip out on, we have a kill quest. We have to go to Cannon Cove on the long abandoned beach camp. Now that's in the cove, so what we're actually gonna do here is we're gonna park the boat. This is kind of a scuffed voyage, but location-wise, it's not the best because we need to be able to watch our boat as well. Let's park on the other side here. That way we have full coverage. All right, there they are. Now we're gonna pick up our anchor again like usual to make sure we don't get stuck here essentially. Let's go ahead and get our harpoon ready. We're gonna take this with us. We got this and we're ready to go. Let me fill up pockets just in the off chance somebody does pull up. We don't want to be completely, you know, unprepared, but we're gonna take this with us. And you're gonna see exactly why we have this. Now, hopefully we can find a treasure chest on the island, but it already appears that we're kind of not gonna be lucky. All right, so the trick here is to like just lightly tap it. That way we can serve all the juice. Now you can technically save this just for the Skeletal Lord. That is entirely up to you. But we're gonna use this for majority of it. Now I do recommend if you are doing this method with more than just a solo, if you have your friend or two, each of you should have one of these skulls to make this a little bit more efficient. Otherwise, the scaling does make it a little weird. You see how fast we're going through this, and this is exactly why. So the boss is finally out. We're just gonna go full send into this. And just like that, that is it. So we kind of use, I'd say about 60 to 70% of this skull. But that is perfectly fine. So we're gonna go over here. We're gonna drop this so we can run it back. You're probably thinking, Mix, why do you do Skeletal Lords over, say, the Captain? So the reason why you do Skeletal Lords is you actually get one more piece of loot. You get the skull and 3 different relics. Now these relics are about the same value as everything else. I'm actually gonna move these to more of a visual. There we go. They're about the same value as the new skulls, but you do get one more piece of loot, and if you do enough of these, that does add up over time. So say we do 20 of those, that's an additional 20 pieces of loot, which could still net you a quite a bit of profit and rep as well. So we're gonna get these on the boat. Now, while we're doing this, we're gonna be checking the beach every time we hit an island, every time we pass an island. We're gonna be shooting out constantly for bottles, and hopefully today we could find one. So far we've been kind of unlucky, but you know, it is what it is. I believe as of this recording, yesterday in our live stream, we had, God, I think I probably ran into, I don't know, about 10 bottles, but we were getting 4 captains every time, and those skulls that drop are just wildly profitable. All right, so we got everything here. We're gonna check on the other side of the beach just to be sure, because right now we're looking for a treasure chest. Treasure chest is kind of it's kind of needed for what we're gonna be showing off here. So we actually didn't end up finding a treasure chest here. Now we can obviously get one from a sea fort, or we can do a quick voyage for one, but for now, I'm gonna hope that we get lucky and can find one, but we may actually have to bite the bullet here. So unfortunately, because to show this off correctly, we do need a treasure chest, and we've been getting very unlucky. So we're gonna head on over to Lonely Isle up ahead. Hopefully we get a bottle, and if we don't get a bottle there, we'll head straight to Lone Cove, which is just this direction. and we'll see if we get lucky. Oh, nice. All right, so one of our first things I've been trying to showcase off since we started the video, and that's going to be emergent events. Now, emergent events can be skeletal ships, megalodons, but these bad boys, the captains, are very much something you should never skip out on. This should be a kind of a general go-to for everybody, but these captains in particular will give you some very good stuff here. So we're actually going to go ahead. I'm going to anchor our boat. Now, captains like this, honestly, are probably one of the best things to run into right now. And depending on our luck, I'll show you why. All right, so we got a Wrathful King Skull. Now, this is big money. I believe these are net profit of around 5 to 6K base, if not 7,000. And again, Italian Emissary, this is around over a 10K item just right here. So this is already really good. But if you get skeleton orders, you'll get a dig, and this dig will lead you to hopefully some goodies. Let's see if yes, perfect. All right, so you can either get a Reaper bounty or a Reaper chest or a Reaper's mark here. You can get mega kegs, or you get storage crates, which have, oh my, and we got a god roll. Holy crap. Not only do they give you cooked food, raw food, usually a full pocket of chains, some cannons, they give you 1 to 4 cursed cannonballs. Now, you do enough of these, you'll be flush on curses. So something I probably shouldn't show off too much, but this is just one of those quality of life things. If anything, you do it for the skeleton or the skull. But if you happen to get a storage crate, it's a good way to get some more sups, and hopefully get yourself some nice cursed cannonballs, which are good for every situation. And that is killing a captain. You get one of the more valuable skulls in the game. These are pretty common, dude. You'd be very surprised. A lot of islands have these, or Ashen Guardians are pretty common. Ashen Guardians, I wouldn't really recommend picking up their other items unless you need doubloons. Otherwise, their skulls are still worth a crap ton of money. Personally, I get very excited for captains just because of the curse potential is always nice. So let's head on over to Lone Cove and let's grab our treasure chest that we are looking for. Hey, and just like that, also something I wanted to showcase today. I was worried we weren't going to get one today. We found a message in a bottle. Now, anywhere where there's beaches or large islands or whatever, really any island can have these bottles, but typically larger islands just have a higher chance because they have a more chance at washed up loot. This is exactly what I wanted to show you guys today. Let's see if we get lucky. Oh, no way, dude. We got Smuggler's Bay Boss, and we got a 3-piece Boulder K. Now, each of these skeletons that you get here are going to be the best quality. So essentially what these captains will drop are these skulls, which are really good. So right here, you probably have roughly at minimum 20,000 gold out of pure base value. Now, you put in emissary value onto that. Again, this is where bottle quests are very good, especially for Order of Souls. But it is completely random. It's not something you can always get a guarantee on. I've had days where I get nothing but cargo, which if you're not doing merchant, is pretty much useless. So let's go ahead and let's get our treasure chest here. All right, find the grave of the beloved board to the southwest. All right, so this is quick and easy. So let's go ahead and showcase exactly what we're doing here and why you need a treasure chest and an actual wind skull. All right, so we're gonna grab our treasure chest. So we're gonna expend all the juice in this real quick just to showcase this off real fast. All right, once it's expended, all of the color is kind of gone. and you hear these clacking even though we're holding it down. So now personally, I've always loved Ashen Wind skulls. They're actually, they've always been good, but the problem with it was back in the day when she used them, the value not only went down, you can't recharge them, obviously. Once you expend them, and it is what it is, that's it. Now, I guess they changed this in season 11 where you keep the value no matter what. But if you put this in a treasure chest and you go to an island, we're going to bury this up, right? All right, so let me go ahead and show you real quick. Let's just to be very clear here. So this Ashen Wind skull is completely dry, right? It's completely dry right now. We can't use it. It's basically useless. But we're gonna go ahead and bury it. Now the trick is to bury this all the way down. It has to basically give you a map. Otherwise, this won't work. All right, so go ahead and tap it. And we'll pick it back up right away. And just like that, it's fully juiced up again. Our Ashen Wind skull is back to being completely useful. Now, yes, you could consider this, I guess, quote unquote, an exploit. Honestly, I think this is just a clever use of game mechanics. I honestly hope they don't patch this out. But this particular method it's basically a rechargeable trident. And we were joking about this on stream and calling this like a recharge station. So once Cotton got on, we had 2 of these, and every time we complete a Skeleton Lord, we'd put both of our Ashen Wind skulls in one chest. I'd bury them, charge them back up. She'd grab the loot, and that's how we did it, and it just worked. So that is how you get an Ashen Wind skull to kind of aid you in your efforts. Now, you don't have to do this. You can kind of completely skip this step if you don't want to use it. But if you're looking to do order souls and kind of keep it chill and just really kind of just destroy everything with ease, Ashen Wind skulls are very good. But that being said, a trident also can give you the same effect. But unfortunately, eventually that trident will run out of juice. And that's where this in particular is very good. And just like that, look at what we also got here. All right. This is coming out to be a very W island right now. We got another captain here, by the way. All right, let's grab the gold here. Let's grab the orders. We'll grab skull. All right, we have a dig over here as well. So obviously, just like before, along the aisle, we're gonna go ahead and grab. And we got another storage crate. That is insane. All right, we're 2 for 2 on that. So our last one, we got a peace ball and an anchor ball. This one, we got a helm ball and a jig ball. So you understand why when I see these captains now, they make sense. They're totally worth doing. If even from a supply standpoint, it's completely worth doing. And I highly recommend you don't skip out on these because, yeah, they're kind of useful. And just like that, I mean, look at our curses already, man. We're doing solid. We're doing very good, actually, which is crazy. I mean, take a look at that. All right, so we did this for about 2 hours. There was quite a bit of downtime, unfortunately. There was a good little bit of SOT news that dropped that I was kind of looking at and kind of talking in my Discord about. But basically, we were able to do this for about 2 hours. Unfortunately, we didn't really get a lot of luck in regards to bottles. Bottles were, unfortunately, with our little route that I normally do, was kind of bad, actually. I think we only managed to pull maybe 1 or 2, I believe. But just regardless, not too crazy, but that's how it goes. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. It's something you shouldn't expect, but if you get, it's phenomenal. All right, so reminder, this is about 2 hours worth of, I guess, loot stacking. There was, again, kind of I probably wasted around like 30 minutes or so, roughly. because I did have to respond to a few things. But all in all, this is about 3 hours of work. Let's see, or not 3 hours, about roughly 2.5. So let's go ahead and see what we get in terms of gold and a rep. All right, let's see what the damage is. And for about 2 hours worth of work, roughly 2.5 hours, about 100K an hour, which is not bad. Mind you, we are a solo. We're not trying to do anything crazy. Now, you could easily make that up with other methods. But for me, the reason why I want to do it is, well, it also is a really good rep. And holy crap, take a look at that, right? We got 10 levels off of that right there. I'm distinction 4 actually, which means we're gonna go buy our rings real quick. So while the gold is pretty good, it obviously could be better, but the thing is about these items, they're such a high valued item. The reputation you get is insane. Let's go to the shop and let's buy our 4th ring. Oh, I'm actually been stuck. One more and we get our ring finally. But there you guys have it. That is how we do Order of Souls. Now, is it the most efficient, most top tier method? No. This is how I do it. This is what keeps it fresh for me. It keeps me from doing world events all day, which for me, again, someone who's done tens of thousands of world events at this point, I feel like it's just something new. It's something fresh. It's keep me enjoying season 11, all the new stuff. So basically what the general, I guess, highlighters are, is you're going to be doing Order of Souls, Skeleton Lords. You'll be doing bottle quests, shipwrecks, etc. But the thing you have to do is you have to get an Ashen Skull. So you either find one on, that's a natural spawn on the server, or you die for it, get one and just use it, recharge it. The only thing you're really gonna need at that point is a treasure chest. What that does basically, because of the scaling, the skull doesn't really get as effective. As a solo, it's kind of broken. But the moment you become a duo or a trio, you will need additional Ashen Skulls to kind of make up that difference. So there you guys have it. That's going to be our guide for Order of Souls. Now, is it the most efficient? Definitely not. Is this how I use it? Yes. This is my current method that I really do enjoy. It's just nice to be able to farm the king loot, the new skulls and stuff like that, and kind of to just mix it up from doing world events all day. So if this video helps you guys out, let me know in the comments section below. Share your method of doing Order of Souls grinding. I'm actually very curious because there's so many different methods for every company. I'm really honestly in the dark and I would love to check some of these out. So thank you guys for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like, join the YouTube live streams that we do here 5 days a week, and hit that subscribe button for more content and live streams as well. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.